I know you feature cancer research where they actually did jump on a trend and it was incredibly successful for them, the no makeup selfie. So I'm just wondering, for the panel, do you watch some of these trends on social? How do you know when to jump and take advantage of something? I'm sure there's no secret formula, but I'd love to know your thoughts on that.
Okay, well, to answer, we didn't hijack the no makeup selfie, but actually what we did was we said we're doing, I think I posted myself in a no makeup selfie on our fundraising page, and said, I have donated to CF Ireland, but also to cancer. Because I made it quite clear that I wasn't really hijacking it. So that was earlier on in the year, and we got some people. We actually got a bit of uptake on our text donate actually from that, which was really, really good. And later on in the year, when the Ice Bucket Challenge came through, we didn't do anything. We didn't talk about it, we didn't tweet about it, we didn't Facebook post about it, we did nothing about that. But independently, people who are our supporters and fundraisers did it. And again, we noticed a huge uptick in our text donations. And it was all just because it was at that time that the Ice Bucket Challenge was going on. So I would say, I don't think it's cool to hijack. I don't think it's cool, but you can't really control what your own supporters are going to do, and if you can get the rewards from it, then that's great. Money is money at the end of the day. Okay.
I think I would echo that, and I think we saw people raise money for something like over 200 different charities on JustGiving for various Ice Bucket challenges. I saw one. Yesterday I was browsing the British Hedgehog Preservation Society, which you wouldn't have thought was a particularly ice bucket related charity, but there we go. It's cold. I don't know. But I think it's certainly Cancer Research, what they did and how they justified this was saying that this was something their supporters were already doing, and so they just gave them the correct information around these are our text codes, these are the best ways to raise money for us. So they kind of enabled the people who were already doing stuff to do it kind of more effectively, for want of a better word. And I think it was the same, with the M&DA, with the Ice Bucket Challenge. They were the kind of primary people doing that, but then there was some controversy around Macmillan doing that in the UK, but again, their supporters were already doing it, so you can't kind of go and tell your supporters to say, hey, stop fundraising for us in that manner. Like, it doesn't, it'd be a strange thing to say, but I think that's also, you've got to roll with, if you give up control yourself, your supporters can do anything. They may do a triathlon for you, they may do Movember for you. You can't kind of stop people doing what they want to do for you, unless it's illegal or going to damage your reputation.
I think also, I think the difference with no makeup selfie, and it's a shame that Cancer Research couldn't be here tonight because, as you know, they are featured in the guide. They stumbled on it really, really early, and it was several of their supporters that said to them, are you guys behind it? Are you guys doing this? This is for kind of raising money for cancer research. And as they said, and as Jonathan said, actually they just put one picture up. They tweeted one picture, and what was smart about how they did it is that, this goes back to how fundraising on social social media doesn't have to be the platform in which someone's putting in their credit card information. That can be JustGiving, that can be somewhere else. But they realized that all of this was happening on social, mostly on Facebook, mostly on Twitter. People were sharing their no makeup selfies. So rather than doing it, they just set up a Just Text Giving page code and a couple of other text codes to donate. They knew that people were going to be on their phones, taking pictures, posting them on their phone, immediately on their social networks. So why not make it as easy as possible? So rather than going through another social media network, they just did it as a text, which was absolutely brilliant. Kind of knowing your audience and knowing what they were going to be doing at the moment that they were engaging with that hashtag. Were you going to say something?
Well, I was going to do some final things, but if you're about to do some final things, then I'll wait until you say.
Yeah, all right, final things. Yes, exactly. That's what I was going to say. I wanted to just kind of give you guys, the audience, the chance to say one takeaway. Obviously, we do takeaways from all of the case studies, all of your case studies, all of your interviews. We have key takeaways at the end. So, one thing that you want to make sure that everybody in the audience remembers. What is that? Keep it to social media, please.
Yeah, I was just thinking about Chinese takeaway.
Yeah.
Well,
He's not normally lost for words.
thank you. No, the thing is, it's about connecting communities, right? Basically, people with a common interest, bringing them together in something that's fun and engaging and that they really want to talk about and be part of. I mean, that was certainly the model for us. You know, the swim, everyone can swim if you can swim. There was a fun element to it, and it's not just here's the money in a bucket. It's something to take part in and feel proud to be part of. We put them all on a Google map so they can say, look, there we are, that's our Rotary Club here in Kenya and here in wherever. So, yeah, that's the message.
I think my takeaway would be that you've got to somehow create that connection, and in this very, very busy world where you've got a million things going on in your Facebook feed and LinkedIn and notifications and stuff, you know, literally it's a blur, and you've got an inbox to contend with. When you are writing content, you've really got to find something that the person who's reading it will really resonate with. So what's the lowest common denominator of the human interaction? What's that emotion that you really want to or the memory that other people will have? One example was there was this little lad, and he always used to look at me driving out of my car, and I always used to see him. And one day I said, "Oh, would you like to drive my car?" And this little 2-year-old abandoned boy got behind my car, and I did a blog post about this little boy sitting on my, you know, because I did it with my dad, and it was something I did across the wreck. And so I put him on my lap, and he had the steering wheel, and you know, helped me with the accelerator. And I sent this blog post out, and suddenly I had all these emails back from people supporters saying, "Oh, I did that to my daughter. She's 2 years old today." And it was something that even this little boy has been abandoned, and you can't resonate or understand what it's like to be a 2-year-old boy who's been abandoned and left for dead, but you can resonate with, you know, sitting on your dad's lap and, you know, pretending to drive a car and being an adult. So it's about that real personal connection.
I suppose the key takeaway that I would have or give or would take would be to always say thank you, because I think that is really the key thing. So much of the focus is on getting the money, getting donations, getting support, but that really, it's not even 50% actually. I would say it's probably only 20%. After that, it's about keeping people loyal, and the way really to build that loyalty and trust is to say thank you publicly. And what we do, which we find works, is when we do that, like after something like the marathon, or recently the New York Marathon, or the Women's Mini Marathon, or the Kilimanjaro trek, or whatever it is that people do, is like, oh, here's a photo of Mary and John and Lucy and Jane at the top of Croagh Patrick, and if you would like to do something like this for cystic fibrosis, email us, call us, like whatever, and that the public thanking and the acknowledgement shows, and then the call to action shows that, well, if we do something, you know, they really value it. And I think that that's really key. To say thank you is really, really important.
I think the one thing for me, because I've not mentioned it yet, is mobile. So fairly important when you're thinking about social is mobile, since everyone checks their social feeds on their mobile, which means that anyone clicking on something from social will be on their mobile phone. Make sure it's A, really easy to donate to your organisation on a mobile phone, and B, make sure it's really, really easy to share that donation to social media on a mobile as well. We have found at JustGiving that twice as many people share their donations on mobile as they do on desktop. And I saw a report today, it's exactly the same for BuzzFeed as well. Actually, people share more on mobile, so you've got a better opportunity to get people to share stuff. And I also saw there was American Red Cross did a survey on social media and fundraising, good timing, last week, asking about people sharing their donations. And they said basically, of this survey of 1,000 odd people, about 40% of people would be somewhat likely or definitely would share their donation to social media after. So 4 out of 10 people would. And And of those people who saw their friends sharing a donation, 70% of people who saw that their friend had donated would take some sort of action, like liking that story, commenting, or whatever. But 1 in 5 of that person's friends would make a donation as well. So all of those shares, you get a lot, 40%, up to 40% of your mobile donors would share their donation, and then 1 in 5 of their friends would then, in theory, donate, again, having seen that. So that's one very easy way where you can use your existing supporters, make life easy for them to share, and encourage their friends to donate to you as well.
Those were all excellent. Thank you guys very much. Can we please give the panelists a round of applause? So please get a drink. We have about 20-25 minutes left of networking. Everybody say hello, come ask the panelists questions, and we'll be in touch.